Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited. I'm Joseph Lopez. Let's take a look at our headlines. Finance and Economy Minister Larry Hawaii presents his third budget to the population, with expenditure exceeding $60 billion and increase in the minimum wage effective January 1, 2015, while securing the nation's social safety net. The Education Minister assures that all government-issued laptops are safe and secure following one incident of a possible security breach. And the National Parenting Program is to be expanded given the recent unacceptably high incidents involving the nation's children. Welcome and thank you for joining us. The best budget ever. This is how Prime Minister the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessor describes the 2015 budget presentation, the theme of which is empowering our people through sustained economic growth and prosperity. The fiscal package, which is the fifth to be delivered by the People's Partnership Administration, was presented in the Parliament on Monday by Minister of Finance and the Economy Larry Hawaii. Now, the total expenditure, according to the minister, is $64,664 million, with a projected total revenue of $60,351 million. $21,223 million is expected to come from the oil sector, while $39,128 million is projected as non-oil revenue.
As is usual practice, we have estimated oil and gas prices on the basis of our interactions with relevant international organizations. In respect of our revenue assumptions, we are utilizing a price of $80 per barrel for oil, and US $80 per barrel for oil, and a gas price of US $2.75 per MMBTU.
The minister said the government is projecting a fiscal deficit of $4,313 million, or 2.3% of GDP for the next fiscal year, which is down from 3.6% in 2014. Some of the allocations for fiscal 2015 include education and training, $10.12 billion, national security, $6.99 billion, health, $5.54 billion, public utilities, $3.93 billion, housing, $2.87 billion, local government, $2.64 billion, works and infrastructure, $2.54 billion, transport, $1.98 billion, agriculture, $1.32 billion, and Tobago, $3.7 billion, or the equivalent of 5.7% of the national budget.
What has been important is we have managed to bring down the deficit, whilst at the same time we have been able to sustain and continue programs for development, as well as to deal with those most vulnerable in terms of poverty alleviation and helping to diversify the economy even further and creating job opportunities for many. So a lot of good things in this budget. The important thing is that we've been able to do that without sacrificing sustainable economic development and without further taking the country into deficit.
According to the Prime Minister, the 2014-2015 budget is strongly linked to government's vision of prosperity for all and truly empowering the people of Trinidad and Tobago while maintaining the government's investment in programs aimed at poverty alleviation, bringing all citizens into the mainstream of the economy and ensuring that more persons can have a better standard of living. She said placing power into the hands of the people has been approached from the context of expanding education at the preschool, primary, secondary, and tertiary levels, providing a better level of minimum earnings, strengthening communities, enhancing democracy, and transforming the social and economic environment. The budget debate will continue on Friday, September 12th. Staying with budget, the cost of food, the minimum wage, and pensions are just a few of the topics going into the budget citizens can expect to see addressed as the Finance and Economy Minister, Senator Larry Hawaii, prepared to present the fiscal package for the budget inside the Parliament chamber at the Waterfront Complex in Port of Spain. News 4 reporter Gregory McBurney took to the streets outside the Parliament to hear the views of the citizens.
The 2014-2015 fiscal package has already been presented to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. However, that doesn't mean that going into the budget, citizens didn't have expectations. News 4 took to the streets to find out just exactly what some of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago expected to see in the 2014-2015 fiscal package. Many of the issues that the public wished to be dealt with in the 2014-2015 budget have been addressed by the government. Speaking to members of the public prior to the reading of the fiscal package, these citizens asked that the government address certain key issues, and the government has seemingly heeded their cry. This vendor asked that the issue of pensions be addressed.
Well, I would like to see the pensioners and them get a little more money. You understand? The people, the old age pensioners and them get a little more. Could be about it's 3,000. Some people not getting the full 3,000. They getting the NIS and they getting just 1,000. And I find that is unfair. You know, they should get give them the full amount of money. Even though because they don't work for the NIS already, you know, that don't pay for.
She also asked that the minimum wage be increased.
$15 an hour. If you move it to 20, that will be very good. But 15 ain't so bad. You understand? Because people, this place has real money, you know. But the poor man is seeing the trouble and ain't getting nothing. Working hard for small money and that ain't good. You understand? They're supposed to work, they're working for it, but money too small.
Meanwhile, another issue also addressed in the budget, food security and emphasis on agriculture, was also a priority for some.
We'd like to see more dedicated focus to our agricultural sector to kind of ease our burden on imports and for us in Trinidad and Tobago to become more food secure.
Echoing her sentiments, this gentleman says food prices should be at the fore of the budget.
In the budget, I like to see the prices of food step down, not step up. Because right now, parakeet have to eat, everybody have to eat. This budget is supposed to be for the poor man or the rich. Because in Trinidad, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. We have enough money in TNT that everybody can afford when they come.
Education was also a burning issue which some members of the public expected to be addressed.
I would like to see more money allocated to secondary schools, schools on the whole, because we have a lot of schools that need repairs.
The youth even had their piece to say, asking that focus be placed on increasing youth productivity.
I think we should have more productive areas for young people to go to, you know, to exercise, maybe to just hang out. Other community centers seem to be plagued by drug dealers and, you know, just truants of all kinds. But if we could just have some more productive places come up, you know, places where young people can go and maybe just do productive things.
All in all, the 2014-2015 fiscal package has addressed many of the issues which citizens expected the government to address. The Prime Minister has described the budget as the best budget ever, while detractors have labelled it an election budget. Call it what you may, one thing is undeniable. With an increase in minimum wage, an increase in pension, and the establishment of new grants, the 2014-2015 fiscal package aims to give the people exactly what they have asked for. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Gregory McBurney reporting from the Waterfront Complex at the Hyatt. More news when we return. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tim Gopi Singh, is assuring that all government-issued laptops are outfitted with the strictest security measures. The minister made this statement at Thursday's post-cabinet media briefing following a newspaper report of an alleged breach of a government-issued laptop to a secondary school student. Speaking to reporters at the weekly post-cabinet media briefing, Minister of Education, Dr. Tim Gopi Singh said the government has not installed any spyware devices on the 75,000 laptops it has issued to Form 1 students over the past 4 years. The minister dismissed suggestions that something may be wrong with the computers, explaining it's only one reported case.
I want to state that there's no situation we consider where we have come to discover any of our other 75 or 80,000 laptops that are in use by the students at the moment have any of this issue associated with it. This is the first device that has been reported through the media but has not been reported to the Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Education will go on to continue in our investigations in that particular laptop when we hope to retrieve it.
He also expressed surprise the report was made to the media and not to the ministry as was required with any irregularity, and that unauthorized installation of software to the state's property was undertaken.
Based on what has emanated, we know that we have strong administrative policies governing the use of the laptop, strong supervision by parents. The students are advised not to go into any inappropriate type of program. We have firewalling, we have anti-theft, anti-virus devices, and so we are able to have under our consideration at all times monitoring by the Ministry of Education of all the students with their laptops.
Dr. Gopi Singh said they intended to retrieve the laptop and conduct their own investigation, as each unit was equipped with firewall, antivirus, and anti-theft devices.
I want to state that there's no situation we consider where we have come to discover any of our other 75 or 80,000 laptops that are in use by the students at the moment have any of this issue associated with it.
Meanwhile, Minister Tim Gopi Singh confirmed that since the laptop program began in 2010, there were 9 cases of theft, but all laptops were recovered. 3 arrests were made and laptops are found even in Venezuela and the Dominican Republic, he stated. Dr. Gopi Singh underscored that this is the strength of the caliber of software that we have installed on the laptops. 4 month students who successfully wrote the 2014 secondary entrance examination should have their laptops by the end of September. More support is coming for parents throughout Trinidad and Tobago as the National Parenting Program is to be expanded. The news comes as Minister of Gender, Youth and Child Development, Clifton Dikoto, says the expansion is necessary given the recent unacceptably high negative incidents involving children.
Speaking at Thursday's post-cabinet media briefing, Minister Dikoto says the National Parenting Program will now take place on an annual basis and explains what it currently entails.
The National Parenting Program is intended to support parents with respect to parenting, impart further knowledge on child development, and sensitize parents on community resources to strengthen parental roles and reinforce the development of stronger families and communities in allowing children to develop to their fullest potential.
Minister Dikoto says the program will be expanded incrementally with the hope of better parenting for the nation's children, the final goal.
We hope to sensitize the parents to make them more aware of their responsibility and to give greater care to our precious ones, so that we'll have the establishment of parent support groups and training the trainers within communities to sustain the National Parenting Program. Funds in the sum of $3 million would be made available in fiscal year 2015 for the expansion of this program. Parenting workshops will be expanded in communities in all regional corporations. Each workshop would comprise about 25 persons, and it is projected that more than 50 workshops would be conducted with at least 1,200 persons exposed to this training.
The minister says more than 400 parents from the communities of Siparia, Laventille, Blanchisez, La Horquetta, Felicity and Moruga have already benefited from parenting workshops put on in their area. He explains that the ministry will partner with the Ministry of Community Development and NGOs such as Families in Action to ensure that the training is optimized and parenting support groups gain the momentum needed to function effectively.
Parenting support groups as an ever-present community-based resource for parents would be established. At least 8 communities would be targeted in those areas where parenting workshops were previously conducted. Up to 50 persons from various communities would receive training and would impart skills to establish and lead parenting support groups in their communities. The ministry will partner with the Ministry of Community Development, other community-based organizations, and national agencies in order to secure facilities and other resources where necessary, in order to realize the goals of the National Parenting Program.
The ministry has also set a deadline of November 2014 to complete the draft national policy on parenting. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Sport news is next. Stay with us. Welcome back. Dr. the Honorable Rupert Griffith, Minister of Sport, hosted a congratulatory reception for the Caribacco 2014 badminton team on Saturday at the Hazley Crawford Stadium VIP Lounge. Now, Trinidad and Tobago granted a host of medals at the tournament in Jamaica, and News 4 Sports was on hand as they were recognized for their achievement. Here's Wayne Cunningham with details.
The Trinidad and Tobago badminton team captured 4 gold, 8 silver and 10 bronze in the individual events, together with 2 silver medals in the team events at the 2014 Caribbean Regional Badminton Championships. As a former player himself, Dave Bob, Director of Sport and Physical Education at the Ministry of Sport, is extremely proud.
It's great to see medals hanging around young persons, these young athletes' necks, and to see the achievement of the senior team. I, as a junior athlete myself in the field of badminton, I have a passion for this game. And I must say, congratulations to the new executive that has moved this sport forward, and within all the challenges that they still face in terms of a home, in terms of somewhere to practice. It is fantastic to see the achievements of badminton.
Dr. the Honorable Rupert Griffith, Minister of Sport, was also high in praise for the team and staff.
With your achievements, you continue to enrich the sporting circle, and today we are here to say hearty congratulations. Your hard work and efforts has paid off. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together with a resounding applause for the efforts of the sincere dedication that paves the way to the success of the 2014 Caribacco team. I think we should stand and give the team a round of applause.
Minister Griffith also lauded the successes of athletes in other disciplines.
Thus far, it has been a very successful sporting year for Trinidad and Tobago. In addition to your accomplishments, we have achieved in a variety of sporting disciplines, such as martial arts, jump rope, beach volleyball, table tennis, netball, squash, women's football, and I hasten to say Mr. Burrell, who won 1 gold and 2 silver medals so far, and he's continuing. I think he too deserves a special round of applause. It is pleasing to see each year that more and more medals are added to the medal count, which allows our Twin Island to gain prominence globally. And for this, I wish to say thank you all, and to all the athletes of this beautiful Twin Island state. On this note, allow me to congratulate our Independence Day gold medalist, Ayana Alexander, who did great. Even though she was hurt, she ended up winning the gold medal.
The Ministry of Sport is continuing to put mechanisms in place for further development.
A memorandum of understanding on sport cooperation was signed between the People's Republic of China and the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. The following sporting disciplines were agreed upon in the MOU: table tennis, archery, gymnastics, that's the rhythmic type, badminton, shooting, swimming, and synchronized swimming. I'm looking forward to that synchronized swimming. It's one of my favorites.
The players were then presented with tokens of appreciation, inscribed with the phrase, "You are what you repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, but a habit." Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
More news after the break. Thank you for staying with us. The critical importance of partnerships, financing, trade capacity building and technology to address severe challenges facing small island developing states were highlighted in Samoa as world leaders met for final discussions last Thursday at the 3rd International Conference on SIDS Nations. Among those contributing to conversations were Minister of Foreign Affairs Winston Dukaran and Dr. Keith Mitchell, Prime Minister of Grenada. Successful partnerships are vital to addressing challenges faced by small island developing states, leaders say at the International Conference Forum. United Nations Development Programme Administrator tells leaders it must spur global action to generate financing and technology for these states. Prime Minister of Grenada Keith Mitchell was among the more than 40 speakers in the general debate who provided insight on how small island developing states and their development partners could scale up their partnerships and cooperation. He said the countries in the Eastern Caribbean could not grow to double-digit percentages as their import bills went to fossil fuels. With the high cost of electricity on the islands, renewable energy, an estimated $16 trillion market, was indeed a smart investment. Trinidad and Tobago's Minister of Foreign Affairs Winston Dukaran, in his contribution, issued a call for focus on enhancing the collective voice of island nations through the Alliance of Small Island States in order to seek leverage and negotiating space in all areas of multilateral discourse. For such SIDS collectivity to be effective, there was an urgent need to develop a global pact in support of sustainable development in those nations. The developmental challenges of SIDS require innovative solutions and new approaches based on the Barbados Programme of Action, Mauritius Strategy and the Samoa Pathway. Small island developing states must engage with the international community on a resilience matrix to form a global compact that would ensure implementation of the SIDS agenda. Critical issues for those states include systemic problems related to graduation, access to financing for sustainable development, trade imbalances, the increasing urgency to address climate change, and the growing crisis in relation to sovereign debt could only be addressed in the context of an effective global partnership. The CARICOM delegation to the SIDS conference held in Apia, Samoa from the 1st to the 4th of September 2014 included heads of government, officials and foreign ministers from CARICOM member states, and Ambassador Erwin LaRocque, CARICOM Secretary General, who all articulated priority issues for SIDS and those of particular importance for CARICOM. And that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 Report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited. Remember, you can view repeats of our newscast weekdays at 6 a.m. and of course feel free to visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/OurTV4. I am Joseph Lopez. Thank you for watching.